What's up, everyone? It is your girl GELBEAUTY 87 here, aka Grace, and today, honey, we're gonna get into another episode of Colorful versus Muted, or Muted versus Colorful. I don't remember what I called this yet. I'm filming a separate episode and I still have not named it anything or uploaded anything. So anyway, let's get into it. So if you're new to this, because I've only posted one when you're seeing this like second one, most likely, what I do is I look at color stories throughout my collection and see which ones look similar, and then try to find some that like look like more muted versions of other ones to show to you all. And then I'm gonna do a series on like the ones I like the best or the ones I find the most interesting and compare each one of them so you can see how it goes. So I'm not gonna do them necessarily in order that these videos go up. You'll see throughout the year me doing random ones of random things. Anyway, let's show the palettes. So this is colorful versus muted. I know, right? So both of these are actually pretty colorful, but let me explain why I said one was colorful and one was muted. So we're gonna start with the Shroud Moonfall. This is the one I'm calling muted just because all the mattes and all the shimmers are more of like that jewel toned effect, if you will. Like there's nothing in here that's super bright besides this pink, whereas I feel like in the Warlock from Fenty Cosmetica, I feel like you get bright mattes and bright shimmers, and in this one you get nothing but deep tones to like this one bright pink. I mean, you can consider this purple, I guess, a little bit bright or whatever, but I'm like, I just feel like this one has more brightness to it than this one, and they both have jewel tone situations going on. It's just this one gives me brighter mattes and shimmers, so that's why I picked this one as the more colorful one and this one as the muted one. So that's what I mean by colorful versus muted. So both these have similar color stories in my personal opinion. I just feel like one gives more color than the other one. So these will definitely be in a video later on this year, perhaps. We'll have to see. So next, colorful versus muted, or sorry, colorful versus muted. We have the Ensley Reign Thunder palette versus the, what is it, Ghostface Lives palette from Ghostface and Glamlight. So I have actually not used this palette yet. I'm trying to decide if I want to put it in a in the giveaway or not that just passed. So we'll have to see about that. But here's what both of them look like. So needless to say, we know that the Thunder palette from Ensley Reign is the more colorful one, because this is a whole bunch of just grayscale colors. I mean, I feel like they did an okay job of like making a great scale palette, since you know Ghostface is black and white. It wasn't much they could do. So, I mean, I think they did a good job for what it was. It's just more of, we know me, I love color. So I'm going to say that this is the muted one. Mainly because it is the muted one. A couple of the shimmers have like different shifting tones or whatever. Like this one shifts to like a green situation and this one shifts to a purple. I know you don't see it when I have it turned towards you, but that's cool. But I like the different tones of gray and blue in this one. So that's why to me this one is the colorful one and this is the more muted version. But I'm probably going to take this one just home and probably put it in the giveaway. But I at least wanted to show it on camera to show you all what I mean by colorful versus muted. And you know, since it was here, I was here, everyone was here, I just went ahead and did that. Although I could have put that one up against the Hershey Kisses one, because the Hershey Kisses has you know, brown neutral tones with it as opposed to that one, but that's the one I preferred to put it with, so that's what I did. Anyway, next we have colorful versus muted. We have the Unearthly Cosmetics Devour palette versus the Fall Romance from ABH. Now, my friend bought me this for Christmas, so I didn't buy it. She bought me this in the Cosmos because she was like, I think she heard me talking about it in videos and me saying if it went on sale, I would consider getting it. But since I didn't buy it from the brand, I still wasn't going to get it. So she ended up buying this one in the Cosmos. So if you see me with either one of those in videos in the future, that's why I told y'all in the past I don't support ABH. So that's why I, you know, wanted to make it clear like my friend bought it, since I was saying that they didn't. But anyway. So needless to say, color versus muted. We all know that the ABH was going to be the muted one because they don't really do that much exciting color. They tried to get better with the Cosmos palette, but it still wasn't given compared to indie brands. To me, this is just more muted version of this, like I said, because like you see the dark green in there, it's muted. The only bright thing I think they have in there is like the two purples and maybe the iridescent shades. So it's like 3 shades. So they're doing better than they normally do, but it's like it's colorful mattes in here and colorful shimmers. And then you got these fun, bright, iridescent inner corner shades. So obviously this is going to be the more colorful and fun one. Now if I put this against the Begonia one, then I feel like they would be even. But because we're putting up against the Fall Romance, I feel like the Fall Romance is just a more muted version of this color story, because they do have a lot of the similar color stories. And a lot of y'all told me when I put the reel for this, or the shorts for this here on YouTube, that you felt the same way. So I'm like, yeah, these are definitely it. I actually have a video coming soon with both of these, if it already hasn't gone up yet prior to this coming out. But I'm like, I definitely feel like Fall Romance is just a more muted version of, you know, the what do you call it, of the Devour palette. I don't know what else is difficult to say. I'm going to put the Devour palette up against the, what is it, Begonia palette from Ace Beauty 2, just in case anyone's curious. Because I'm kind of curious myself, like, how similar are they going to look on the eyes? So, let me see about this one. Because there's one in this stack I was trying to debate, so I think I'm going to put it at very bottom just to like see, because I'm feeling like one is different than the other one, but I don't want to like, you know, necessarily. So let's get to these next two. So now it's the colorful versus muted. I know, right? But the reason I picked them the way I picked them, let me open it up so you can see. So this is the Sunrise palette from Natasha. This is the first $69 palette she came out with, up against my Porta Rosa from Sigma. Y'all know I have a code with Sigma, and I have a code with Natasha Denona, believe it or not. So both of them are Gel Beauty. For Gel Beauty is for Sigma, and Gel Beauty 87 is for Natasha Denona. But here's what both the palettes look like. Why am I holding them like this when I can hold it like this? I feel like the Sunrise gives you more color just because you have the yellows and then you have the reds, and then you don't have any neutral shadows. Like my thing with the Porta Rosa and me calling it the muted palette is because it has the sorry, I'm holding the wrong way because muted is supposed to be on this side, colorful is supposed to be on this side. But anyway, the reason I feel that way is because it has these like neutral shades in it. So it has like this neutral brown and it's like more peachy shade. Whereas with these, I feel like I don't really see any neutrals. Like, I mean, I'm assuming people are considering the burgundies like the neutral in here and maybe like the peachy shades. But I just feel like there's literally like browns in here, and the brown is supposed to be one of the deepening shades. So just because they put the couple of browns in here that they did, that's what made it more muted to me. Because anytime I see nothing but color in the Natasha Denona palette from once, as opposed to like, you know, nude browns and really like ashy peachy shades, I get excited. So that's why I was like, this is definitely the more colorful one of the two. And I know they're supposed to be like similar like vibes, if you will, that warm tone like reddish pinky vibe, and I just feel like I like the Natasha Denona one better. So this one is the colorful one for me, and this is the muted one because of the browns. If they hadn't put in the browns, I feel like it would have just been fine on its own, but because they put those browns in it, honey, like Mariah Carey said, child, it's a wrap. So it's gotta go. So I gotta put that one back in the drawer, and I gotta take this one home. Okay, I got another Natasha Denona, which is the colorful versus muted. So this is the Yucca palette that came out in 2023 alongside the Tropical Vibes palette from Adept Beauty. So y'all know I did a comparison in the video for you all. Like, mine is breaking, and then the orange I person here doesn't always stay that great. But here's what both of them look like side by side. I feel like you just get more matte and vibrant colors in this one than you do in the Yucca palette or Yucca palette. So that's why I said that this was more colorful and this is more muted, even though like my most colorful shade at the top is broken. I told y'all I have real bad luck with their palettes. They seem to break on me a lot. So sorry, I'm trying to hold it where it's not shining. Yeah, so they seem to break on me a lot. So, and as you can see, this is definitely more muted, like work appropriate color story that she made fun, which I'm not mad at her for. It's just because I like the more colorful stuff at the end of the day. I definitely would say that the Adept Beauty is more colorful and this is more muted. I don't remember if I did comparing this one to the other one or not. I don't think I did. Don't quote me. The Safari palette is a good alternative too if you want another black owned brand, because the Safari palette from Colored Rain, or the Safari Rain palette from Colored Rain, has similar tones as to the Yucca palette. So those are good alternatives to talk about. So I'm trying to debate if I should do these or not, because I honestly don't remember. So I'm gonna leave it here, and then if I didn't, then you'll see it coming in you'll see it coming this year. I'm about to say 2024, like, you know, I'm not filming this for 2024, but I am. So okay, so the next one, can we focus? Thank you. Next one I have in colorful versus muted is the Ice Cream Dream palette from Glamlight. I feel like this is the muted palette, whereas the Garden of Juvia's is the more colorful palette from Juvia's place. Now I know you probably like, but it's literally a pastel palette. It's like, I know it's a pastel palette, but if you didn't notice, there's only one neutral tone in the pastel palette from Juvia's place. That orangish brown at the bottom, whereas I feel like with this one you kind of get quite a few neutrals when it comes to shimmers and it comes to mattes. So it's like you get this neutral shade, you got this dark brown neutral shade, you got this orangey-ish peachy-ish neutral shade, then you got all these neutral shimmers. Like, I feel like there are no neutral shimmers in here and one neutral matte in here. So that's why I feel like this is the more muted palette, believe it or not, just because although you do have those pretty colors, you still have everyday colors to ground this palette with. Not that I have an issue with that, but because, you know, like, I'm more of a colorful person, this one shade is enough for me for transition, and I can use everything else to, like, you know, make what I want to make. And I really wouldn't need this because, like, the colors they chose are so beautiful till I can just use the yellow or the light pink or light purple as my transition shade, and I wouldn't even need that. I mean, I guess you can count this shade as a neutral shade too, but there's still like 3 and 4 neutral shades in here, and then neutral shimmers to match with it. So that's why this is the more muted version of the palette to me, whereas these two shades aren't doing too much compared to all the other neutrals you have on, and there's like no neutral shimmers to go with the stuff, the neutral mattes going on in here. So that's why this is more of a colorful one to me, and this is a more muted one. I don't think I compared both of these. If I remember correctly, I compared the Ice Cream Dream to the Vigorously palette from Planet Makeup by Yolanda. So I think I might actually go ahead and compare these two. I think I compared this to something else. I think it was the Natasha Denona palette instead, if I remember correctly. I compared this to, so it might be fun to compare these two this year. I think they're getting rid of Ice Cream Dream because they're trying to phase out all the food stuff, so it might be good for you too, because if you really like that palette and the Juvia's Place can be a good alternative for you, that might be work for you. Okay, so the last one we have to talk about is I'm still trying to debate on what I'm going to put these in. Let me open it one more time. Hold please. Okay, we got colorful versus muted. So this is Mothership 1. This is the first Mothership palette I ever bought. I bought it for my birthday one year because if y'all don't know what I used to do before I was like a beauty YouTuber, like for my birthday I would buy myself a Pat McGrath or Natasha Denona palette. I basically buy some luxury makeup if I didn't go on vacation. Then if I went on vacation, then I just wouldn't buy the luxury palette that year. I might buy it for myself for Christmas instead. But so this is Mothership 1, and then this is the what is this? Glam Light and Cookies and Cream 12 color palette. So the reason I said that this is the more muted one and this is the more colorful one, because at the end of the day you get a lot of colorful mattes in here along with the fun bright shimmers. I know you get the bright shimmers in here, but there's a lot of cool tone stuff in here, and I feel like if you covered up like these 3 shadows right here, you get a really neutral, boring palette. So it's only 3 shades in here that make this exciting and fun and different, whereas with this one you get a whole bunch of nice like iridescent shimmers, and you get like deeper tones of mattes along with different colors of shimmers, and then you get a couple of neutrals to kind of ground it, to make the palette nice, or get a nice cool tone. It's like neutralish eye look if you're interested in that sort of thing. So that's why I said this one is more colorful, because although it does give neutrals, it still gives a good majority of colorful mattes and then iridescent shimmers, whereas Mother gives you a lot of neutrals and iridescent shimmer, a metallic blue, and like just a whole bunch of neutrals. So I feel like at the end of the day this still gets more neutrals than this one does, and you get more colorful mattes and whatnot. So that's why I'm saying them the way I'm saying them. And this one I definitely want to do a look on, because I'm like, when they had the 40% off sale, I jumped to get this, and I think I've heard people have been finding this at TJ Maxx. So I definitely want to let y'all know if this is worth the buy compared to Pat McGrath if you're interested in this palette, because although this palette is Ulta and you can probably use your points, or you know, like she always has a sale or whatever, you still might not want to spend the money that it costs at the like 30 or 40% off of this palette. So I feel like it's important to show both of these, so I will do those. So those are the palettes I had to talk to you about today. You can comment down below and tell me if you agree with the stuff I said of as far as this episode goes, of them being muted versus colorful, and how you feel about the whole situation. Because like some of them I was like second guessing myself, but I was like, we're just gonna go ahead on with it. I still literally have like I think 2 more over in another box for the next episode to go along with some other things I'm gonna have to pull later on, that I'm like, do I feel like these are the same? I don't know, we'll have to see. But anyway, like I said, I hope you all enjoyed this video. Remember, you all are diamonds. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Be blessed, girl. Bye.